side we share with the Thailand at the north side, and at the south side we share the borders with Singapore. Meanwhile, in the Borneo Island, we share our land with the Indonesia in the Kalimantan side, and also the Brunei in the upper side of the Borneo Island. So Kuala Lumpur is the national capital and largest city, while Putrajaya is the seat of the federal government. With a population of over 32 million, Malaysia is the world's 43rd most populous country. As you know, we have like 2 sides, as you can see here, like one here and the other side, one here and the other side is here. So that makes us Malaysia quite a big country, I can say. We have a very lot of mountain here as well. So then the southernmost point of continental Eurasia is in Tanjung Piai. In the tropics, Malaysia is one of 17 mega-diverse countries, home to a number of endemic species. Yes, we are one of the tropical season countries. All right, so moving on next to the topography of Malaysia. Total land area of Malaysia is 329,147 square kilometers, which is equivalent to 137,350 square miles. It's quite big, I can say, and the 66th largest country in the world, of course, surpasses the 100 country. There's like 100 plus country in the world, and there's more nowadays in the era of Industrial Revolution 4.0, so there's a lot of things happening in the world. And then it is the only country that contains land on both mainland Asia and the Malay archipelago. Peninsular Malaysia makes up 190 square kilometers. Sorry, wait. Okay, so almost 40% of the country's land area, and while East Malaysia covers about 198,847 square kilometers, or also known as 60%. And then from the total land area, 1,200 square kilometers, or 0.57% of Malaysia is made up of waters such as lakes, rivers, or other internal waters. It's very big if we see in the ratio itself. Aside from that, Malaysia also has a total coastline of 4,675 kilometers, and Peninsular Malaysia has 2,068 kilometers, while East Malaysia has 2,607 kilometers of coastline. Last but not least, Malaysia is also the 29th longest coastline in the world. Okay, the two distinct parts of Malaysia separated from each other by the South China Sea, which is the peninsular side, and also the Borneo Island side, share a largely similar landscape in that both West Peninsula and the East Malaysia feature coastal plains rising to hills and mountains. Yes, our country has a lot of hills and mountains indeed. It's very different than some of the countries which has a very, I can say a plain land compared to us. We have a really mountainish structure itself. All right, next. These are the additional information about Malaysia. So our highest point would be Mount Kinabalu in the Sabah, which is located in the Borneo Island side of the Malaysia, which is across the South China Sea from where I live or even Dr. Lee live. So it's very far from us indeed. The highest point is about 4,095.2 meters. Isn't that amazing how high the altitude is? And also the lowest point of Malaysia is at the Indian Ocean, which is in the middle of the Andaman Sea and also the Malacca Strait and also the South China Sea itself with 0 meters of altitude. And our longest river is the mighty Rajang River located in the Sarawak area. Sarawak is one of the famous place in Malaysia indeed. I will explain in detail of some places that you can visit in Sarawak, which is in the Borneo Island side of the Malaysia itself. And aside from that, we also have 2 large lakes in Malaysia. One is man-made lake, which is known as Kenyir Lake. This is the Kenyir Lake. It's a man-made. Can you imagine? This is a man-made. It looks really realistic, isn't it? And this is the very, this is an original lake, which is not man-made, a natural lake, which is the Bura Lake. Both of the lake is located in Pahang area, Pahang district of Malaysia. And last but not least is the exclusive economic zone of Malaysia. Maybe some of you don't know if you haven't been to Malaysia, or you read about Malaysia. If you know, you don't. Malaysia is actually a country. This is the Kenyir Lake. It's a man-made. Can you imagine? This is a man-made it looks really realistic.
Dr. Lee,
and this is a very this is an original lake, which is not man-made, a natural lake, which is the Bura Lake. Both of the lake is located in Pahang area, Pahang district of Malaysia. And last but not least, it's an exclusive economic zone of Malaysia. Maybe some of you don't know if you haven't been to Malaysia, or you read about Malaysia. If you know, you don't. Malaysia is actually a country. This is a bigger lake. It's a man-made. Can you imagine? This is a man-made. It looks really realistic.
Dr. Lee,
this is a very
Right, sorry for the interruption. Okay, so back to the economic zone. Malaysia is very well known with the economic zone of, we have a petroleum. Our country invests a lot in the petroleum area, which is in our ocean side. There's like petroleum place. We have few companies that develops petroleum in our country, such as like Petronas, and we also have Shell. We also have others that also come from the Dubai side, and others who invest in our country as well, especially in the Borneo side, because the area of the ocean that Malaysia own is a bit big there. And then meanwhile, there's also one corridor of the country which is known as Iskandar Malaysia. Iskandar Malaysia is something that the country is developing right now towards the 2025 vision. We plan to make Malaysia a very invest country that move forward, just like Japan. So there's something called Iskandar Malaysia, which builds up the country so that the socio-economic is more stable in the future, especially in the pandemic, of course. All right. So now I would like to recommend some places to visit. Now, this is the time that everyone have been waiting for, of course. Let's say the pandemic has ended. Please do come to our country, because especially to these places, I guarantee. So first is the Petronas Twin Towers. The Petronas Towers, or the Petronas Twin Towers, are twin skyscrapers in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. According to the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitats official definition and ranking, they were the tallest buildings in the world from 1998 to 2004, when they were surpassed by Taipei 101. I believe you know where Taipei 101. Yes, very much. Thank you. Yeah, the Twin Tower is actually very, very huge. If you actually stand down there at the ground, you can see it up there very, very high. The architect for this building is Cesar Pelli, and this building contains about 88 floors, including 5 floors underground. Yeah. So next, Malacca Historical City. This is a very historical city for the Malaysian, especially everyone in the country from anywhere from the country. Of course, they know where Malacca is situated. When the British succeeded in extending their influence over the Malay Peninsula, the city soon became an area of development under the Strait settlements as part of the British Empire. The development and burgeoning prosperity were, however, halted when the Japanese arrived in World War II and occupied the area from 1942 to 1945. During the occupation, many of the city's residents were taken and forced to construct the Death Railway in Burma, present-day known as Myanmar. After the war, the city was returned to the British and remained as the capital of Malacca. The status as a capital remained until the formation of Malaysia in 1963, and in 2008, it was listed together with Georgetown of Penang as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its long history. I believe all of you have heard about UNESCO World Heritage Site, and I'm proud to be Malaysian, as some of the places in Malaysia is acknowledged by the UNESCO itself, especially the Malacca Historical City. The economy of Malacca City is largely based on tourism. As the economic center of the state of Malacca, it also hosts several international conferences and trade fairs. The city is located along the maritime Silk Road. I bet you heard about Silk Road. Silk Road, usually, if we learn in history, that involve the China country, the India country, and every country around the Asia continent itself. Proposed by China in 2013, among the tourist attraction in Malacca are Porta de Santiago. Porta de Santiago is this one. You can see down here. It's also known as a Famosa. And then we have Jonker Walk. Jonker Walk is nearby here, but this is one of the strait of Malacca, the river. And then Little India, we also have Portuguese settlement because Portuguese used to come to our country before this, before we even achieved the independent. And then we have Stadius. This building is called Stadius. And then we have Maritime Museum, which has the submarines that were left before this. And then we also have the Christchurch. The Stadius is here and the Christchurch is here. And Malacca Sultanate Palace Museum, which is somewhere down here. And then we also have Tamingsari Tower, which is here. Yeah, these are like some of the attractions in our Malacca historical city itself. All right, next, moving on to Putrajaya, one of the city that I really like in Malaysia. Putrajaya is a planned city and the federal administrative center of the Malaysian capital. The seat of the federal government was shifted in 1999 from Kuala Lumpur to Putrajaya because of overcrowding and congestion in the former. Kuala Lumpur remains as Malaysia's national capital per the constitution and is still the seat of the King of Malaysia and the parliament, as well as being the country's commercial and financial center. The establishment of Putrajaya was the idea of the then Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad. It became Malaysia's third federal territory after Kuala Lumpur in 1974 and Labuan in 1984. So basically Putrajaya is where all our socio-economic and also our development of a country and also all the ministers work at. And it is a plan as a garden city and intelligent city. 38% of the area is reserved for green spaces in which the natural landscape is enhanced. You can see most of Putrajaya is covered with trees and everything ecologically that I really love. The environment there is very fresh. And the plan incorporated a network of open spaces and wide boulevards. Construction began in August 1995. It was Malaysia's biggest project and one of the Southeast Asia's large, just with an estimated final cost of $8.1 billion. The entire project was designed and constructed by Malaysian companies themselves with only 10% of the materials imported. Can you imagine how big this city is and how eco-friendly it is? I believe, especially like today we are under the eco program, right? So basically, I believe that you might like Putrajaya if you come and visit it and look at it in front of your own eyes. Like these are the example of the parks in Putrajaya that I really like to visit. And then here is the convention center, one of the biggest convention center in Malaysia itself. And this is where the Prime Minister resides. His office, and also this is the overall look of Putrajaya from above. All right. Next, Legoland Malaysia, Johor Bahru. If you come to Malaysia and visit with your family, it's a very suitable place because you have we have a theme park here, which is Legoland Malaysia. We have a lot like Sunway Lagoon, but I prefer to come to Legoland Malaysia because it is one of the biggest Southeast Asia theme park. So Legoland Malaysia Resort is Malaysia's first international theme park, which opened in Iskandar Puteri, Johor, Malaysia. As I said earlier, Iskandar Puteri is one of the Iskandar Malaysia, which is also the corridor side of Malaysia that wanted to generate the social economy even more in the future. So on 15 September 2012, with over 40 interactive rides, shows and attraction, it is the first Legoland theme park in Asia and 6th in the world upon its establishment. I am very proud to have this as well in my country. It was actually fun, especially I'm teenagers and also when I was little, my cousins we would like to go here. And the official opening of Legoland Malaysia was made by Sultan Ibrahim Ismail, Sultan of Johor, on 22nd of September. You can see there's an Einstein here. There's also like a Lego Academy where you can build a lot of things and innovation stuffs there as well if you go to Legoland. And then there's rides. I believe if you come here, you would really enjoy with your family, especially when you have kids around. Okay, so next is Aquaria KLCC. The Aquaria KLCC is an oceanarium located beneath Kuala Lumpur Convention Center, which is under the 88 floor building just now that I showed. It is within the Kuala Lumpur City Center in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, featuring 60,000 square feet. in 2 levels with a 90-meter underwater tunnel. Aquaria KLCC houses over 250 different species and over 5,000 land and aquatic animals from Malaysia and around the world. Interactive information kiosks on fish and turtle conservation. It includes a team retail area of about 5,000 square feet. Aquaria KLCC is based on the journey of water from the land to the sea. The journey starts in the misty highlands, down through the rivers, through the rainforest and mangroves to the coral reefs into the deep blue sea. There is a large food court just outside the aquarium with many choices of food. Meaning to say, if you come here, you won't be hungry because after like all the time you're going inside there, spending hours and hours looking at the species, there's like 250 species you have to look at and like, oh my God, there's like this and that. And then your kids will be like, oh my God, mom, I'm hungry. So you can just go outside and go and grab some food. And also here, there's like a conveyor belt like where you can walk on, and then there's like fish above your head. So basically you can see shark. You can see here, like you can even touch a shark from the screen there. But it's a realistic shark, and there's even a program where you can scuba dive with the shark itself. Can you imagine scuba diving with the shark and like the stingray also especially? So yeah, it is very, someone who loves vigorous activity, but you don't like indoor, you can go outdoor, but inside the water itself, you don't have to go to the beach. You can just go inside the aquarium and experience yourself feeding the shark and stuff. All right. So next, we have the Sepilo Orangutan Rehabilitation Center. Sepilo Orangutan Rehabilitation Center is located about 25 kilometers west of Sandakan in the state of Sabah, Malaysia. Okay, the state of Sabah is located in the Borneo Island as well. We only have 2 states in the Borneo Island, in fact, the Sabah and the Sarawak. So this is in the Sabah side. So the center opened in 1964 as the first official orangutan rehabilitation project for rescued orphaned baby orangutans from lodging sites, plantations, illegal hunting, or kept as pets. The orphaned orangutans are trained to survive again in the wild and are released as soon as they are ready. The sanctuary is located within the Kabili Sepilok Forest Reserve, which covers an area of 4,294 hectares, much of which is virgin rainforest. Today, around 60 to 80 orangutans are living free in the reserve. It is believed that orangutan species are in an endangered situation right now. So basically, our country preserves them very much. As you know, we are also the tropical country, as I mentioned earlier, around the equator line itself. So we have a lot of nature around us, and we do have to conserve these animals because animals are also beings that God created, and it's our responsibility to take care of them as well. So yeah. Next, we have Kuching, Sarawak. Yeah, this is Sarawak, another state in the Borneo side of Malaysia, as I mentioned earlier. So Kuching, Sarawak is officially the city of Kuching is the capital and the most populous city in the state of Sarawak in Malaysia. Since there's like only 2 states, right? So basically there's Sarawak and Sabah. So mainly if you see majority compared to the Semenanjung side, which is the other side where I'm living right now, the population should be more, but then somehow it's equal, even though there's only 2 states there, and the other states, about more than 12 states are in my side. Yeah, it's a bit unique of Malaysia, the diversity there itself. So basically, it is also the capital of Kuching Division. Sarawak has a lot of division indeed. And the city is on the Sarawak River and the southwest tip of the state of Sarawak on the island of Borneo, and covers an area of 431 square kilometers with a population about 165,642 in the Kuching North Administrative Region and 159,490 in the Kuching South Administrative Region, a total of 325,132 people living in just the small city of Kuching, Sarawak. Can you imagine how many population in Malaysia it is, but it's not even crowded yet? So yeah, this is like the middle of Kuching where we have the statue of cat. So Kuching actually means cat in Bahasa Melayu. If you want to learn Bahasa Melayu, I can teach you a little after this. So okay, this is the Kampung Budaya Sarawak. It's also in English, it's known as Sarawak Cultural Village, where if you want to learn about the culture in Sarawak, as you know, Sarawak and Sabah is very rich with ethnics and varieties of people that you haven't discovered in the world itself. It's like, you know, in Africa, there's a lot of ethnics, right? Also in Sarawak, we have a lot of ethnic. So village is where you can learn a lot of things. I've been here, there's a lot of Sarawak ethnic houses,